Hi, this is Mr. Cordes, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go over the introduction paragraph as well as our thesis statement. Introduction paragraphs and thesis statements aren't anything new for you, so this lecture video is all review from what you've learned in the past. We are starting off with a very, very basic introductory paragraph simply because we are going to build as we progress through the writing over the course of the year. So even in our body paragraphs, we talked about our body paragraphs just being 5 specific sentences. This first time around, when we go for our intro, we're only going to have 3 specific sentences, one of them which is the thesis. So what you can see here on your handout on your own template is there's normally 5 sentences in an intro paragraph. It usually goes from a broad general idea down to the specific thing that you're talking about and showcasing the, hey, this is a general idea, but hey, let me get down to here's the point that I'm trying to make. Okay. I always kind of like to get the idea if you're talking to your parents or you're talking to your friends and you want to ask them a specific question, you kind of guide them in. So it's not, hey, can I have $20? It's, hey, I've really enjoyed our time together. I helped out today by cleaning the house. I did this. I'm wondering if I could go to the movies with my friends. Can I have $20? Like you kind of work your way down to asking that specific question. And the same goes for an intro paragraph. We work our way down so that we hit home with our thesis statement. And our thesis statement is the point that we're trying to prove, okay? You cannot have a piece of writing without a thesis statement. If you do, it's just summary. You're just talking to talk. You have to have a thesis statement, a hypothesis, a statement that declares this is what I'm analyzing, this is what I'm talking about. It would be as if you're doing a science experiment, but you don't ask a question about how one thing affects the other. It's the same idea of looking into history documents, but not understanding what is the connection or the piece that you're specifically looking for and how it impacts others. You want to have a thesis statement, the point you are trying to prove. Now, when I write this out, I like to use the sentence starter. The point I'm trying to prove is, I like to use that as a sentence starter because it helps me get going. Looking at a blank page is always difficult, but if I have the point I'm trying to prove is, I can move forward, okay? If you need to pause and then type that out, please do so if you want to use it. I will eventually go back during my editing phase and I will strike this out simply because I don't use it in my final draft. Okay, so I'm going to put a strike through because I'm not going to use it in my final draft. But the point I'm trying to prove for this first essay, I'm going to give you your thesis statement. However, you just need to fill in the blanks. Okay. We are talking about, momentary pause. We are talking about the idea of loneliness in Of Mice and Men. Okay, we've talked about how John Steinbeck showcases these characters and how they're lonely, and that's the theme. We're not writing about our characters. We're writing about the theme of loneliness and how our characters show that. So here's what you need to do first. Okay, I'm going to just move down a line for us to give me a little bit of extra room. We're talking about loneliness, okay, but we're talking about our characters. So I first need you to write out your characters' names, blank and blank, okay? George and Lenny, Crooks and Curly's wife. Take a moment, write out the one. So if you're working with Crooks and Curly's wife, that's what it would look like. If you're writing about George and Lenny, that's what it would look like there. Please take a moment and fill in your 2 characters, okay? The second one is the verb. We need to have a verb in our sentence. So we have blank and blank, our 2 characters' names, and then we need to have a verb, and I need you to pick one of these verbs, okay? I'm going to list all 3. I want you to pick one. Please pick one of those verbs. Illustrates, demonstrates, or shows. So Crooks and Curly's wife illustrates. George and Lenny demonstrates. Crooks and Curly's wife shows. Okay, we'll switch the any edits for the verb tenses later. But right now, you're going to write your thesis statement that says your characters' names and then pick one of those verbs, okay? Then I'm going to continue with my sentence. And you're going to write exactly what I'm writing. The theme of loneliness throughout the novel. That's it. Super easy. Super easy. Okay? We have identified the characters. We've given a good analytical verb that tells us what they're doing because they show the theme, they demonstrate the theme, or they illustrate the theme of loneliness. So our essay is going to be about loneliness. And we're going to use those two characters, this character here and this character here, to showcase that. Okay? So that's your thesis statement. Okay? George and Lenny illustrate the theme of loneliness throughout the novel. Brooks and Curly's wife demonstrate the theme of loneliness throughout the novel. Whatever it is, that's what you're going to write. Okay? Now, the second part is we're actually going to jump up to the third sentence. You'll notice that there's 5 sentences, but again, like I mentioned before, we're taking things nice and slow. I just want us to do a 3-sentence intro this first time. The third sentence is author and title. The 4th sentence is where you introduce the characters. The 5th sentence is where you've got your thesis statement, and that's the most important, and that's why we do that one first. Okay? So starting with our author and title, the author of our book is John Steinbeck. Okay? Our title is Of Mice and Men. Now, the book title is either underline or italicized. So you can come up here and go either italicize or you can underline, not both, just one, okay? And what you do here is you put those together into a sentence, and usually what you want to do is offer up some sort of description, offer a general concept of the story, okay? So that should not be underlined. So imagine you go with your friends to the movies and you walk up to the marquee. There's a whole bunch of movies and your friends ask, well, what's that movie about? And you say, oh, that movie title is directed by this director, author, and it's the story about how this guy travels back in time to win over the girl, like general concept, right? So for you might say Of Mice and Men was written by John Steinbeck and talks about 2 farmers pursuing a dream. Look at that. How simple is that? John Steinbeck, great American novel Of Mice and Men, talks about early life in the 1900s in California, right? You don't want to tell about loneliness because that's already mentioned down here. So maybe you want to switch it up. Of Mice and Men written by John Steinbeck, or John Steinbeck wrote Of Mice and Men. You could put those in either way. And then give me something general. It's about 2 travelers together trying to stay out of trouble. It's about characters who are pursuing after the American dream. Like you want to give me something that I'm kind of like, oh, what goes on in that story? You don't want to tell me everything. You just want to clue me in, right? That will give you a chance to entice your readers. So that is your sentence number 3, okay? Sentence number 4 is where you add in your characters. Who's George? Who's Lenny? Who's Crooks? Who's Curly's wife? And these sentences do not include the concept of loneliness, because your loneliness discussions will come when you do your commentary in your body paragraphs. So this, if you remember, we did the character chart and we broke up the characters into who they are. One of the things for characters was we identified who they are as people, okay? So George is a farmer with strong features who watches over Lenny, right? George, tell me who George is. Lenny is a mentally handicapped man who likes soft things. Crooks is the African-American stable buck who works on the farm. Curly's wife is the only woman on the farm. One year I did have a student write down Curly's wife is Curly's wife. That's not going to work. You can't write Curly's wife is Curly's wife because it's implied. She doesn't have a name and you can't name her. So Curly's wife is the only woman on the farm, right? Curly's wife is, Curly's wife is the only woman on the farm. That might actually be your whole thing. Or Curly's wife is married to the boss's son, Curly, right? That would be a little bit more descriptive, okay? So if you look at that component, you are introducing the characters in a general way, right? Curly's wife comes across as flirtatious to the other men on the farm, even though that's not true, right? Oh, that's a good sentence. I like that sentence. So George and Lenny, Crooks, Curly's wife, you are introducing them in a way that's not going to tell us that they're lonely, but just tell us who they are. So at this point, you would have your 3 sentences. You've got your author and title. Of Mice and Men was written by John Steinbeck and offers a glimpse of life on a farm in the early 1900s. Okay. George is the caretaker of Lenny, who has strong facial features and desires to have his own land, right? Lenny likes to touch soft things and is mentally handicapped. Like, you are introducing who they are. The last one here is the one that I gave you. Blank and blank illustrates, demonstrates, and shows the theme of loneliness throughout the novel. Okay, super easy. 3 sentences for this time around. As we progress in our writing and we write more, we will come back and we will write additional sentences. So if we were doing these, if we're not doing them, if this first sentence up here would be about loneliness and what is loneliness, the second one would describe the concepts of loneliness again. So again, you're having a general concept bringing us down. Right now, you're just looking at sentences 3, 4, and 5. So when you write out your entire essay, you'll have those 3 sentences, then you'll have your 2 body paragraphs that go along with it. Okay. Please message me if you are stuck. At this point, before moving on or doing anything else, please make sure that you've got your 3 sentences that consists and talk about your characters that you selected. Okay. Remember, you're only picking one of these verbs in the thesis statement. Put these 3 sentences together so that you have your introduction paragraph, as well as your thesis statement. Okay. Message me if you have any questions or concerns. Good job, guys.